Welcome to day 5 of Imagine a Miracle Every Day. And it is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous on this particular day. And we are going to imagine the miracle in Mark 7, verses 32 to 35. Now, let's just double check to make sure that's really what we're going to do here, because sometimes when I look here in the book, then I change it around a little teeny bit. So, the purpose of imagining the miracles, as you know, is so that you activate the Christ consciousness of that's within you by speaking and acting and feeling and seeing these miracles in your own imagination. So, ooh, how pretty it is. Pretty, 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 pretty. So here we go. What was that? 32. All right. So this particular one is about a deaf and dumb man healed. And again, departing from the coast of Tyre and Sidon, he came unto the Sea of Galilee through the midst of the coasts of Decapolis. So here is where you're going to imagine that you are Jesus and you have traveled, and when you finally come to where you have been heading to, then they bring unto him one that is deaf. So you got to imagine that the people know that Jesus does all these miracles, and you have to see it in your mind that there are people who love this deaf person so much that they bring him to Jesus so that he can be healed, because they know, based on what they've heard, that Jesus can do these things. So here we go. Some more of these beautiful, beautiful scenery. And they bring unto him one that is deaf and had an impediment in his speech. And they beseech him to put his hand upon him, because they already know that Jesus does different miracles by placing his hand on people. So why is this important for you to understand? Because the power that is in Jesus is also in your hands. You bring this forth by knowing that you do have power, first of all, and trusting that God has been calling you to do some sort of healing for other people with the power that you have. Some of you have healing hands, but your mind has to be able to accept your gifts. And that's why when you read what Jesus does, it helps you to activate your own gifts. And he took him aside from the multitude and put his fingers into his ears. So you're going to imagine that you're Jesus, and you're going to have the man standing there, right? And then you're going to put your fingers, because you know that this is the technique that God has shown you to do, that you put your fingers into his ears. And he spit and touched his tongue. So Jesus does this. He spits and he puts his spit on his hands and he touched his tongue, and looking up to heaven, which is what Jesus does to emulate that he's getting in touch with God the Father, the power behind anything that he does. He looks up to heaven. And heaven actually is in your own imagination. It's not like God is only in the sky someplace far away, like on another planet. But the connection between you and God is in your imagination, and he's able to see. He's able to see the truth about this person, that the person's already whole. And this is really important. So this is a realization that you are able to get inside your own self as you practice doing these things. So I'm going to show some more of this beautiful scenery because it's changing and changing. And looking up to heaven, he sighed and saith unto him, Ephata. I think that means Father. Oh no, well it says here, that is, be opened. And straightway his ears were opened, and the string of his tongue was loosed, and he spake plain. Now the rest of the story says that he told them not to tell anybody, and were beyond measure astonished, saying, he hath done all things well. He maketh both the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak. So, here's where you have this beautiful chapter. And what you want to do is, even if you have to read it more than once, you still want to make sure that you're not just reading it like, oh, like it doesn't mean anything. You want to take it into yourself and act it out like you're really performing these miracles, so that you feel that activation of the power that it took for the miracles to even occur. All right. Again, we will see you tomorrow, and have a fantastically great miracle making day.